there we go, everyone. Welcome to my living room live.
Welcome, welcome.
I am Andrea, and that is Craig.
Hi.
And we're so happy that you have tuned in to watch tonight because it's a very special night.
Why
very
is
special.
that?
Well, we have two very special guests. And actually, they've both traveled far to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So it's far.
It is far.
It is far. Even for Maritimers, it's far.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me,
used to traveling.
everywhere you go is far.
Yes. So without further ado, Martha and David, come on. There we are.
Here they come.
Yay.
I have their names reversed on screen. That's not Martha on your left with David on your right.
I don't know.
You can reverse those.
Martha.
There's always one thing I forget to do, and that's double check where everybody's sitting.
That's all right. No problem. People can figure that out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, we're really glad that I just lost my clip under the piano. Oops, it is
A mic clip?
Yep. We're really happy
I see
you
it right
guys
there.
are here. You see it?
We're here.
Perfect. So happy you guys are here. And you are all in for such a treat tonight. Because, Martha, you have just released a new record, haven't you?
Here it is.
Oh, that's lovely.
Wonderland. Great artwork.
It's
Shout
beautiful.
Out to Owen Swain who
See if we
did.
can get
I've
a little
always wanted
closer.
an album that had not just pictures, like photographs to have artwork, and he did a stellar job.
It's beautiful.
And the little booklet has lots of little incidentals in there.
Oh, that's so
And if you
fun.
want one, you can just through my website you can contact me and I will mail you one out because it's better to have this than the digital copy because you get to hold it and look at the pictures and read the lyrics and all that kind of neat
I
stuff.
feel the same way.
There, I put your website up on the screen. MarthaRenaud.com.
And if you're in
Perfect.
Central Ontario up here, I'm sort of the Central Ontario distributor. I have a few
I don't know. I didn't give you that many. Are you DavidLum.com?
I am.
Yeah, so he's singer-songwriter in his own right, too. So we're... Yes, and he produced it. It was a crazy whirlwind nuts project that just came out beautifully.
Yeah, before the project I had hair,
Oh, yeah, okay.
We're so happy to have you both
I have
here.
to dye mine much more sooner now.
What a treat. So, David, I don't know if you have reverb on your voice, but you're way in the background. Yeah, when you're talking into your mic.
All right, how's that?
That's a little better.
That's low.
Okay, I just need to talk close.
Got to be a close talker tonight.
Close talker. Well, should we check in here, Craig?
Yes, would you mind?
Glenna Ross is watching, and Glenna just celebrated her 50th wedding anniversary in St. George, New Brunswick.
Happy
So
anniversary.
happy anniversary to Glenna and Harold Ross. David Reynolds is watching, another Maritimer who lives in Guelph. I'll tell you, we
Awesomeness.
all find each other. Let me tell you, Peter Light is watching.
Hey,
Hey, Peter.
He loves the Maritimes.
I thought you were up north. Or maybe you are.
And then he said, have a great show. Barb Scott. Do you
Hey,
guys know
Barb.
Barb Scott?
I
There
know
you
Barb.
go. She says, hey there. My dear sweet mom and dad, probably if there isn't a hockey game on, are watching. Hi, Mom and
They're
Dad.
usually on Thursdays, aren't they?
Oh, there are hockey games on Wednesdays. Yes. Rhonda Brill is watching.
Well, hey,
Rhonda. Ruth Switzer is watching. Hello, Ruth. David Lum is watching.
Hey, wow, how'd that happen?
Oh, what? Yeah, what?
What?
I was busy tonight.
Oh, I know you're busy.
How's that possible?
Melissa Spangenberg, another Maritimer, is watching.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
Yeah, she says that David's voice is still low in the mic. I don't know what
Okay.
happened. I could hear
Okay.
you. You're really, 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 really low.
Julia Nimi says, hi there. Ken Craig and Andrea.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Julia.
Hi, Julia. Emily Mullins is watching. Deb Hastings. Hey, Deb. Michelle Denning Lockhart is watching. Another Maritimer. Tina Lynch McLean is watching. Hey, Tina. That's Marcella's sister. Watching from Ross, New Brunswick. Emily Maritimer. Hello, everyone. Welcome, special guests.
Thank you.
So there we
Yes,
go.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yes. And Barb Scott says, mic up, please.
Yes,
If we want to hear you.
we're doing everything we can. Sorry.
Dorothea is watching. Hello.
Is that Dorothea?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it
Hey,
is.
Dorothea.
Yeah,
Yep.
you do sound like you're in a cavern.
Yeah, you still have your reverb on your mic.
Do
there.
I? Okay, I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
Hello.
Glenna Ross says, thank you, Andrea and Craig. You're so welcome, Glenna.
And thank you, Andrew, for taking over comment duty. I was
You're
just
welcome.
busy tonight
Kim
working with some new
Furlot
equipment.
is watching, Sean's sister in New Brunswick. Anita Scheffler?
Hey,
Maybe?
Anita. She's from Michigan.
Yay, my
She's
favorite.
my sister from another mother.
That's what she
That's
said.
what she just
Martha,
said.
my sister
Yes.
from another mother. Hello. Aw.
There you go.
Jane Jago is watching. Another Maritimer. Tina says, hey. Dorothea says, have a great show, David and Martha. David, you're not usually the writer. The writer one? LOL.
The writer one.
Don't know.
The one on the
Well,
right.
I'm usually wrong.
You're the one
Chantel
on the right.
Berrio is watching. Polly Knight, good Wednesday evening, everyone. Volume isn't very loud for any mics.
Oh, check 1, check 2.
Oh, Dorothea says, oops, I meant quiet one.
Oh, I'm the quiet one. Yeah, that's true usually. Is that better? Can you hear me?
You still got the reverb on.
I have none.
Oh, really?
None.
Oh, it's weird.
It's just him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me.
It's resonating in
I'll
here.
keep playing. I'll keep playing around while Andrea does her.
Well, I
Her
think
hosting duty,
we're
sorry.
all. Oh, look, Candace Tanfera, another Maritimer, is watching. Hey,
Hello, hello.
Candace. Well, let's play some music.
Well, since there's all these Maritimers, the last time I played, the train came off the tracks on this song. It didn't even come off the tracks. It came off the tracks and went over the cliff. So I'm calling this Redemption, and we're going to start off with this. And this is actually, I brought the book, just a minute. So this is the book, and I read it, and it's by Sally Armstrong, who's the great-great-great-granddaughter of Charlotte Taylor, who ended up settling out in New Brunswick. And at the ripe old age of 20, back in 1775, which was old, she ran off with a Jamaican butler and ended up in Jamaica. And then with a twist of fate, she ended up being a New Brunswicker.
I love
And it's a very epic tale, and I wrote a song about it, and I'm going to do it.
it. Yay. What's it called?
Just the Ballad of Charlotte Taylor.
Beautiful.
Well, my name is Charlotte Taylor, and I'll tell you about my life. I left all that I knew behind in 1775. I ran off with the butler, I was carrying his child. We set off for Jamaica and we crossed the ocean wide. Well, the voyage, it was perilous, we were lucky to survive. But shortly after we made land, my lover, he did die. He caught the yellow fever, now he's buried in the ground. I was rescued by a Commodore and I'm New Brunswick bound. Well, I never was a lady and they said I had 9 lives. I just had to keep my wits about me just so I'd survive. A pioneer, a brigand, a devil some might say, but I left behind a legacy that survives this very day. Acadians, they taught me how to live in a land 'twas big and wild and oft would not forgive. Their lesson served me well when I settled with John Blake on the banks of a river where our homestead we would make. Well, the winter, it was harsh, and no children I had 4. America was deep in war and at our very door, but it wasn't war that took my John, infection laid him down. And I am on my own again, my husband in the ground. And I couldn't wait for help to come, I had to make a plan. Let them talk behind my back, convention now be damned. For my rights I had to fight as much as any man. So with resolve that winter night I made my daring plan. Snowshoed off to Fredericton to get the title deeds to the land we'd settled on the banks of Miramichi. My Mi'kmaq friend Way O'Shea for 10 days was my guide to help me with my quest for my children to provide. Well, twice more I was married, and now children I have 10. But accidents befell my man, and I'm alone again. And my children now surround me with children of their own. And I have reaped a harvest of the seeds that I've sown. Well, my name is Charlotte Taylor, and I've told you about my life. I left all that I knew behind in 1775. I made a name in this wild land with wit and guile and will. And I'm resting in the land I love on this New Brunswick hill. Well, I never was a lady, and they said I had 9 lives. I just had to keep my wits about me just so I'd survive. A pioneer, a brigand, the devil some might say. But I left behind a legacy that survives this very day. Yay, it didn't come off the tracks.
Yay!
Yay.
We don't
Answer.
talk about that.
That was awesome. Martha, how old was she when she died?
She was probably in her 60s or 70s.
Wow.
And back then it was incredible because she had 10 children by these 4 different fellas. All the guys died, but she survived. And I think a lot of it was the Mi'kmaq taught her a lot of native medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So she was able to keeping children alive was a perilous task. And like her first husband in the New World, he was septic from a tooth infection and died from that. So for her to survive with all her children intact and just have this great legacy. So yeah. And that's on the Time and Tide recording of mine, and I went out to J.P. Cormier's studio. So if you get that one, it's got mandolin reels between every verse, and it's also got his lovely fiddle playing, and it's epic. It's wonderful.
Lovely.
Wonderful.
We're so happy to have you both here. Sorry, I was
Yes.
busy.
So happy
Busy
to have
playing
you here.
with levels and volume and everything. So hopefully everything sounds good now.
All right.
So thank you for being
how's that?
patient. I think it's fine for your singing. It's just when you're speaking, people can't hear you. It's
Maybe you need to kiss the mic.
all right. They're here to hear you play and sing anyways.
All right. How's that? All right.
So because it's getting close to Remembrance Day, and we're going to do, are we doing Keep the Kettle On next after this one? Yes, so this is, when I did my show a little while ago, I put it in little subgroups. So this would be the kids' song. And my youngest son was in the Canadian Armed Forces, and he was deployed just prior to the 100th anniversary of the Battle of Vimy. And on Remembrance Day, he was actually at the War Memorial in Vimy for their Remembrance Day services. And I remember I was out cycling at Point Pelee, and I had to keep stopping to write down these lyrics to this song. And it's written from the perspective of a ghosts of the young soldiers that are buried there as they watch my son and his comrades honor them on Remembrance Day there. So it's called Lest Ye Forget. You polished your boots, I remember the task. Ironed the shirt and polished the brass. And we all were watching as you marched smartly past on a hilltop on Remembrance Day. Well, we did salute you through a veil from the past. We fought for a peace that we thought it ever last. And every last one of us laid here to rest holds now the line, lest ye forget. And we stormed up the ladders and over the top, through hellfire and bullets, where the killing ever stopped. So see with our eyes as you march smartly past, and hold now the line for peace that will last. As we look on these bleached stones now row upon row, oh now me lads, where did the time go? For we once were like you, so young and carefree, off for adventure and life's reveries. But we stormed up the ladders and over the top, through hellfire and bullets, would the killing ever stop? So see with our eyes as you march smartly past, and hold now the line for a peace that will last. Oh, many that lay here are ne'er to be found, so know that you're trodden on this hallowed ground. For every last one of us that here finds their rest holds now the line, lest ye forget. Polished your boots, I remember the task. Ironed the shirt and polished the brass. And we all were watching as you marched smartly past on a hilltop on Remembrance Day. So there is a video that goes with that. A shout out to Ed Everart, who in another short period of time got that ready for, and it was actually aired on CBC News World just prior to the main Vimy Ridge things.
Wow.
And I was so happy the Facebook version, on Facebook, it got shared from St. John's, Newfoundland, all the way out to Victoria, so it went coast to coast.
Amazing, Martha.
Yeah, so if there's one song that I've written that I'm the most proud of, I guess it would be that one. And so check it out. You can find it on YouTube. It's Lest Ye, Y-E, Forget. So just trying to honor those young men and women. And my great uncle was, we're pretty sure he was at Vimy. He was at Somme and Vimy. And my dad was in the Second World War, and then my son. And yeah, so there's some connections there.
Absolutely.
Keep the kettle on. We're not on anything, right? So anyway, here's David.
Hi, David. David.
David, don't give anything away.
So there's a few people we should do a shout out to. Mark Moffat is watching.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark, a Maritimer. Kathy Gallagher is watching, and she's Irish, so I'm sure this appeals
We got
to
some
her.
Irish
We got
tunes
some
for you.
Irish.
All right, we're going to hit everybody.
Joyce Martin, she's Scottish.
Hey, Joycey.
Paul and Patricia Stadinsky, they're watching.
Hello.
Linda Cobra, and you know what? It's Linda's birthday.
It is Linda's
Happy
birthday. Happy birthday.
Linda.
To you.
Hope you're having a great day. Jeff Croto is watching,
Hello, hello.
and he now lives in, I think it's Switzerland or Sweden.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Cindy McCatton is watching. She's a Maritimer. Hi, Cindy. And Charlene McClellan is watching, and she's a Maritimer. Hi, Charlene.
Hi.
A million Maritimers watching tonight.
That's all right.
Pressure's on.
Well, hey, you could book us. We could come out and
I
play for you.
know.
Book a tour.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we'll book a tour.
Book
Yeah.
a tour and just let us know. We'll show up, do house concerts and all that
Yeah,
kind of fun stuff. And there
absolutely.
you go. There you go.
So what are you going to play for us now, Martha? And
so
David.
this is the kids section. I have 2 sons, and the younger one was in the military, and the older one took off and lives in lovely, beautiful California. I was talking to my husband today, and I said, I read a thing where somebody said we could just skip winter and have double fall. I said, what would we call that? He said, California. So I wrote this one for him, being out there, being far away, and it became quite prophetic in the end. And it's just called, even though like he's far from home, I'm home, and we'll keep the kettle on. I see you sitting at your desk, and I love you more than you can guess. It seems so long since you've been gone, and that wheel of time keeps spinning round. Well, you found your road and it drew you west, that ancient lure, enigmatic quest to find your place beneath the sun, and of ground hard fought and ground hard won. And there's many a chance and circumstance that keeps us moving on until we find the rest that holds us best and gives us our heart's song. But know if I could fly in the blink of an eye, well, I'd be right by your side. But you were born to soar and so much more, so I'll just bide and keep the kettle on. I'll just bide and keep the kettle on. Well, I see you sitting at your desk, and I love you more than you can guess. You know I'll always wish you home, but I know the heart that needs to roam. And there's many a chance and circumstance that keeps us moving on until we find the rest that holds us best, gives us our heart's song. But know if I could fly in the blink of an eye, well, I'd be right by your side. But you were born to soar and so much more, so I'll just bide and keep the kettle on. I'll just bide and keep the kettle on. Be right here, and I'll keep the kettle on, my dear. I'm right here, and I'll keep the kettle on.
Beautiful.
I should add a note here that Martha and I have never played live together.
That's
Yes.
true.
We
That's
did
true.
the thing on the CD. Like I did my tracks, and then he just colored in the other parts.
Yeah, but you know, I've been a fan of Martha's about 2 years now, and I've been singing along with her CD in the car. So it's
And I'm a
been
fan
like
of
I've
yours.
been-
You're supposed to teach me that song, and you never did.
Oh shoot, I forgot.
Anyway,
Too busy listening to your songs.
The prophetic thing about Keep the Kettle On is you were born to soar and so much more. At the time I wrote it, my son wasn't doing what he's doing now, and he paraglides all over the place. He's been to Chile, he's been to Spain, he's going to Nepal next year, up into Utah and those kind of Colorado, and yeah, so he does. He soars all over. I got to do it. It was actually 1 year ago this week that we were there visiting, and I got to paraglide too, and that was awesome.
Wow. Let's see. Julia says she loved that so much.
It's a nice song, isn't it?
Yeah, he bombed in
beautiful.
the other couple of weeks ago. He had a wedding to go to, and he was working in Chicago. And I didn't really know he was coming and didn't see him very much. He was there for like 2.5 days, but I did get to touch him. I was the Uber for the downtown bar pickup, and so you talk and you get what you can.
That's great.
So
And our good
anyway,
buddy Mark says, well done.
onward and upward. Are we?
Mm-hmm.
So for the Irish people in the crowd, this one was actually written for the Canada's 150th, and I love history, as you can tell from Charlotte Taylor. And I like writing songs from people's perspective, so to kind of get right into the song. And this is about the Irish potato famine and the tragedy that happened because of the greed of men, and so many need not have starved and died and emigrated, but they did, and they went off to a new country. That's what this is called. 1, 2, 3, and well, my name is Sifa Katie Flynn, and I come from the land that they call Erin. They took me land and they tossed me home while the praties rot there in the ground. And my babes are covered in filth and scorn, and I lost me man and the last one born, and the landlords care not a whit for me. So off I go to a new country. And all the starving, bleeding souls are dying by these county roads, and the lords and ladies can't be found while the praties rot there in the ground. And there's burning rock far as I can see, and there's nothing here that's left for me. So I pack my sack and my family. Well, off I go to a new country. And we journeyed far across the ocean wide in these coffin ships, hoping to survive. And if we make it to the other side, I'm hoping that the good Lord will provide. For I left all that was ever dear to me, me man, me land, and all me hopes and dreams. And may the good Lord look o'er our family as we make our way to this new country. As we make our way to this new country. Oh, my name is Sifa Katie Flynn, and I come from the land that they call Erin.
Woo! Love that tune. There, sorry, for everybody watching, I zoomed in the camera just a little bit so you can actually kind of get a better view of
Oh, nice.
these guys playing, because it looked a little too far back, so
Great.
I'm busy working away back here. And Melissa says that everything sounds great now. She stepped out for a compost run, but she's back to her maritime kitchen. We love Melissa's comment. She's great. She always
Yes.
listens to us in her kitchen. sometimes while she's cooking. We love that. And Julia says, what a great folk song. And is it Dennis or Denis Bastarash? Sounding great.
Hey, Denis.
Denny.
Hi, Denis.
Sounding great, Martha and David.
Thank you.
That's great. I noticed that Aunt Linda is watching.
Shirley
Lara. Shirley Casey. Lara is watching. It's very exciting.
Lara. I got it right.
La. Ra. La. Ra.
Love it.
Oh, Keegan is watching. Hey, Keegan. My word, it's been a long time. I hope
Shirley
you're
says
well.
she loves it.
Oh, that's great.
Lovely. If you have any questions for these guys, just let us know. Just feel free to let us know in chat, or just feel free to give us.
I'm 5'8". I love long walks on the beach. Not that sort of stuff.
If you have any more questions for David, let us know. If you're
Hey,
watching
Dad.
us, for the very first time, which we might be tonight, because Martha has a following outside of our usual circle in Guelph and out in the Maritimes. So if there's any folks that want to shout out, just let us know where you're watching us from. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
And please don't forget to like our
Excessive
page on the
tuning.
way out, but also in the show description, we've got links to both Martha and David on Facebook, so feel free to
Yes.
give them a like and a follow as
listen to
well.
David. David's got some awesome, wonderful songs, and he had a new CD out, which he's doing some release concerts for coming up. And
Yeah. Well,
Very exciting.
November
True North.
17th.
Yeah.
November 17th here in Silence in Guelph, and then November 29th at the McDougall Cottage in Cambridge.
What day of the week is the 29th?
29th is a Friday night,
Lovely.
7, and the 17th is a Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. So
We'll definitely be promoting those as the days get closer.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, we love silence.
so we got one more.
I'll tune to you.
The sounds of tuning.
I remember being in the band and playing clarinet, and like when in high school all the clarinets are flat, so our lovely band director tuned everybody to the flat clarinets, and we sounded like awesome.
Oh, no.
So yeah, there you go. Sometimes you have to do these.
And if you like what you're hearing tonight, you guys will notice that there's a link on the bottom of your screen. It's also pinned in comments there. If you're watching, these folks playing at a live venue, you might see an open guitar case and you might toss a tip their way. So feel free to send a tip to
Pay for coffee on the
Streamlabs.
ride home tonight.
Yeah.
That's right.
Streamlabs.com/MyLivingRoomLive. Head on over there, and you'll see this lovely website where you can leave your name and type in a tip amount, and then a special message that you want emblazoned permanently in the stream for us all to read. So please keep it clean. But head on over to streamlabs.com/MyLivingRoomLive if you want to leave a tip for these two fine musicians.
There we go. Thank you. Appreciate anything and everything. So,
It will go to gas money, most likely,
yeah,
to get Martha back to Windsor.
Yeah.
Get me back to Windsor, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're going back to Hamilton. So.
I'm going back to Hamilton, so a coffee will be fine.
Yeah, there we go.
So what's the next tune?
So this is called Beautiful Moon, and it came out of, it's actually, I played it at my niece's wedding, and I got the chorus or the one line like ages ago before I even knew that she was going to get married. And apparently Irish people are like Italian people, that they want big weddings, like you have to invite absolutely everybody. And I think my niece and my now new nephew are kind of quiet people and didn't really want all that. So it's like, what can we do? So they had a destination wedding. So they had the wedding in Canada in the winter between Christmas and New Year's. And there was still something like 40 to 50 Irish people, including his 90-something-year-old grand that came over. And so I wrote this little song. And the other thing is that Alan, her husband, was studying at the time to be a barrister. And over here, when you're going to be a lawyer, it's called articling. But for whatever reason, if you're in Ireland, it's called Devlin. So
Devlin.
I had to put that in there. So this is called Beautiful Moon. And if you get the CD, Gwen Potter's lovely Viola
The
D'Amour.
lovely Gwen Potter.
Oh my gosh, it just makes my heart swell to hear her on this particular little waltz called Beautiful Moon.
Awesome.
Well, she came across the ocean, she came across the sea, with a heart full of hope and a pocket of dreams, to find a new life and a path that was true, and to dance in the light of a beautiful moon. Well, he grew up in Ireland, the land of the green, with his heart on his sleeve and a pocket of dreams, to study the law and all that was true, and to be Devlin now is the path he pursues. Well, paths often cross, as paths often do, and so was the case when it came to these two. And there in the mountains he asked his love true, to dance in the light of a beautiful moon. He said, I'll take your hand if you'll take mine, and we'll walk through this life one step at a time, and in all of life's doings may we always make room to dance in the light of a beautiful moon. So here now we dance in the light of this moon. Such a beautiful tune. It shone through the ages like some ancient rune, and it shines on you now, and the love in this room, as we dance in its light, oh beautiful moon. Well, she came across the ocean, she came across the sea, with a heart full of hope and a pocket of dreams, and there in the land found a love that was true. And now they dance in the light of a beautiful moon. They dance in the light of a beautiful moon.
That was lovely.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Beautiful. And you guys got a tip in that song
Aw.
from your friend Anita.
Thank you, Anita.
She says she loves
I'll
seeing
use it to
and
come
hearing
over the
you.
border to come and visit you.
There we go. I love it. We have a few people saying hello. So we've got Peter Mandick tuning in from Fergus. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Lorenzo Ruffini listening in from Mississauga. Sounds great. And our good friend Melissa says how lovely they are sounding together. Such skill. She loves to see and hear how musicians join up. And it is interesting because, you know, they've collaborated, but not in a live situation. So it's been kind of interesting to kind of just see. And
What's
you guys
gonna
were
happen?
you guys were rehearsing song, and you were kind of telling each other, you know, talking a bit about like notes and stuff. But I wouldn't have known that you hadn't played
That we
it
hadn't
together.
played together.
But you were talking afterwards, like, oh, that didn't go, you know, the way that, you know, it was on the recording. But oh my goodness, it sounded great.
The thing is, when we did Martha's latest CD, as she was saying earlier, she did her parts. I went down to Windsor for a couple of weeks 2 days.
2 days.
2 days. We did all her guitars in one day. Then 2 weeks later, I went down and did all her vocals. Then I brought her back home.
Talk about pressure.
And
Like,
then
you got to be on.
then I did all the parts at home. But the thing is, all these parts I've played and sang, you know, you're in the recording process, you do one bit at a time,
Yep.
and then you move on to the next. So you do these parts and you move on. Well, tonight's the first time I've actually did multiple parts. I've never played and sang together with myself, with the guitar and the vocal, let alone playing with Martha. So
I don't know. It's been fun. There we
it's
go.
been fun.
So you're hearing a lot of firsts tonight.
Yes.
Fun.
Let's see here. Shirley says she loves to hear the backstory to a song. I have to agree. Andrea Daniels says, gorgeous. Liv McQueen says, hey, everybody.
Hey, Liv.
Hey, Liv. That's Liv McQueen of the McQueens.
They just have an album out too, and it's fantastic. Way to go,
So
Liv.
much
Really
good
is.
music out there.
So good.
Fantastic.
And Andrea Daniels says she lost her granddad this weekend, and she thought of you and your family, Andrea.
Aww.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Really sorry to hear that, Andrea.
So thanks for joining us, and maybe we can enjoy some beautiful music and kind of have a fun little intimate evening here with us and,
Yes, it
and
is.
David and Martha.
Always a fun time.
Yeah.
Peter Swiderski is watching.
Hey,
Peter.
Peter Swiderski. And is it Dorothea or Dorothy?
Dorothea.
Dorothea.
Hey, Dorothea, you're still there.
She
All right.
says you two sound wonderful together.
Oh, there.
Thanks.
Yeah, he can
I
form
agree.
another group.
yeah,
He
this is my
doesn't have
third
enough
band.
to do.
Look, we're
Yeah.
next, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
We're
4
next.
bands.
Yes,
Okay. Who
okay.
needs sleep, right?
Yeah, so you didn't quit your job.
Sorry, we'll give you some space there, David.
We'll talk.
That's what happens when you're really super talented.
And popular.
Yeah.
We'll have a slot
And
between
nice,
3
right?
a.m.
No,
and 5
nice.
p.m.
Nice comes first for me.
Yes, you were one of the
Yeah.
nicest guys.
You are. You really are.
Likewise.
Sorry, we'll stop
Anyway,
gushing
before
now.
before we do our next song, I'm going to stand up here.
Sure, yeah.
I want you to look at my T-shirt. It says, "Be cool, be kind, be brave, be you."
Be cool, be kind, be brave, be you.
Be you. And this is Down Syndrome Awareness Week, and this is put out by a young man called Andrew Banner, his mom Karen, and it's called Group Hug Apparel. We got the link on there. And he's just an awesome young man who does all kinds of wonderful things for people with disabilities. This shirt actually was a fundraiser for a young man who has autism who's battling leukemia to help with costs. So the sale of those kind of shirts and wonderful sweatshirts, really good quality stuff. So check out his website and check out his story on grouphugapparel.com. So I just wanted to give him a shout out, and I
Yeah.
told him I was going to wear the T-shirt here because it reminds me too, just to things that are really good to know, just to be cool, to be kind, and to be brave, because sometimes playing in front of people can be scary, and to be you and just be who you are, and that's fine. So, and so this next song kind of goes with all that because it's a song about an unlikely friendship. And I was watching a PBS special, and it was Ken Burns on all the park system out in the West Coast, and there was the prairie buffalo, the bison. They call them bison, but buffalo worked better for the song. And there was a bird sitting on this buffalo, and I went, what an unlikely friendship. I wonder how that happened. And, being the songwriter kind of thing. So I was thinking on the lines of The House at Pooh Corner by Logan and Messina. So it's kind of, this is that kind of a feel. And it's just a nice little story about an unlikely friendship between Little Bird and the buffalo. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Unlikely pair that you ever would find out on the prairie in the Great Divide, trying just to get through another dry day, and trying just to keep those old wolves at bay. Well, you might think that they don't go together just because they're not birds of a feather. Well, sometimes there's just things you can't know, like when Little Bird found a prairie buffalo. This little bird found a prairie buffalo. Well, Little Bird had got herself caught in a storm. She was blown off course, now all tattered and torn, grounded by an injured wing and waiting to die. 'Cause there's no hope for a bird that can't fly. Well, sometimes you might think it's all over, but you don't know what's coming round the corner. No, sometimes help comes in a way you can't know. Like when little bird found a prairie buffalo. This little bird found a prairie buffalo. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Well, Buffalo had tried to find water for days, and he was staggering now in dry brush and sage. Hanging head hanging, he just wanted to cry, till something quite small just caught his eye. Well, sometimes you might think it's all over, but you don't know what's just around the corner. And sometimes cries, they can't be heard, like when Buffalo found a pretty little bird. Yes, Buffalo found a pretty little bird. The little bird's healed and she's flying so high. Now she's Buffalo's second set of eyes. He's her warmth at night now that they're together. They go through life no matter what the weather. It's an unlikely pair that you ever would find out on the prairie in the Great Divide, trying just to get through another dry day, trying just to keep those old wolves at bay. Well, you might think that they don't go together just because they're not birds of a feather. Well, sometimes there's just things you can't know, and sometimes friendships, they just grow, and friends are just friends just because it's so. Like when little bird found a prairie buffalo. His little bird loves a prairie buffalo, and Buffalo found a pretty little bird. His buffalo loves a pretty little bird. Do 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 do
What a sweet song.
I couldn't stop smiling through that whole song.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God, I love that
Aw.
song, and I think lots of people would agree. Melissa says, "Oh my gosh, this is the sweetest song." Our good buddy Mark says these two are top notch, and looks like he invited his friend Gene in to watch, who agrees. Let's see here.
Thanks for
and
watching.
Julia, she appreciated that shout out. She's one of our #1 fans,
Yay.
and she also has Down syndrome.
Okay,
So she says,
awesome.
"Thank you for sharing this song with me and everyone as
Yeah.
well."
Good stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Julia. We love having you on the show. Looks like Christmas is coming up. We may be seeing you soon. Oh my goodness.
So this is actually the first song on the album, and it's kind of a universal theme. I think when I look up at the stars in the sky, if you liken them all to all the people that you've ever known, and some of them are there for a long time, some of them are just like shooting stars, or there's a line in there about leaving home, and it's like your kids are there and they leave home, and people are there for different time frames, and they're all special. So this is just thinking about, wishing you could see some people. This is called "It's Been Too Long."
Lovely.
It's been too long since I have seen you. I miss that sparkle in your eyes. I hope that time has been kind to you through the years and through the miles. It's been too long since I have heard the music of your voice in my ears. And if I sit real quiet, like I close my eyes and I can hear, and I know that people come and go like shooting stars and leaving home. But of all the lights in this night sky, yours is the brightest one. It's been too long, it's been too long, it's been too long. And if wishes really could come true, I'd wish a day with you and fill it up with all the crazy things we used to do. have touched you and felt the warmth of your embrace. And for a moment time would stand still and we'd forget this crazy race. And I know that people come and go like shooting stars and leaving home, but of all the lights in this night sky, yours is the brightest one. Yours is the brightest one. It's been too long, it's been too long.
It's been too long.
It's been too long, it's been too long.
It's been too long.
It's been too long, it's been too long. I miss that sparkle in your eyes. I hope that time has been kind to you through the years and through the miles.
It's been too long.
It's been too long, it's been too long. It's been too long. It's been too long, it's been too long.
It's been too long.
It's been too long.
Beautiful.
Love it.
That was beautiful.
I
You
got-
played
I
a
got
chord
lost.
progression in
It's
there.
okay. Just
I thought there's been a lot of it's been too long. So it's like,
I figured I'd let you make that joke.
Don't.
What were you saying about a chord progression you liked?
Yeah, there was a chord progression in there. I really enjoyed. I don't know. I can't read guitar chords, so I have no idea what you played.
I love that
But
you
it was lovely.
you hear things that I don't very like
Yeah,
to hear.
you did you went to like a major chord and then you came off and you played a minor. I don't. It sounded like E major to A
Well, that was
minor
the bridge, wasn't
in
it?
my
That was a
mind.
bridge.
Bridge, yeah.
yeah, I like that
Yeah,
bridge. It's
it was
kind of cool.
really
It's
nice.
like playing the harmonica.
Lovely. Andrea says, so lovely, just beautiful. Melissa. Oh, Janet Levitt says, hello from Back Bay, New Brunswick. Hello. And Melissa says, Julia, my snack friend for the show, because they both like to prepare snacks while they and snack while they watch the show. We love it. Chat amongst yourselves.
Oh, Sean is watching.
Hey.
Hey, Shawnee.
Now, we should probably spend a moment talking a bit more again about your album, and I'm going to just put a link to your website up on the screen there.
So it's called Wonderland.
Yeah.
And it's got all. I did some of the ones. I did Miss Olivia Rose on the last episode,
Yep.
and that's on that one. And I think I did Horriban last time too. That was my pub song.
Yes, which I loved.
Yes, it was. It's
Love the lyrics of that
and there's
song.
a little instrumental at the end that we're not going to do that's on it. But like Gwen Potter, like I said, is playing her lovely viola d'amore on the Irish pieces, and on Olivia Rose, she's on there too. And then David's got all his wonderful instrumentation woven in. So I feel like I did the sketches, and they put all these colors in, just like Owen, who did the artwork on the front, did. And I'm really proud of it. Two of the songs are over at the UK Songwriting
Yes.
Contest and
Ooh.
are presently sitting in the semifinals. That's New Country and Beautiful Moon, and waiting to hear if they advance to the
Fantastic.
finals. And Horriban got a 5-star review
Congratulations.
and just on the cusp of getting in the semis, but they said so proud of that. you know.
Yeah.
So, what
There's
is the
very
best
smart
way?
people there.
What's the best way for people to get their hands on this new album?
Well, if you go to my website, I can mail it to you. I like to do that kind of thing. I don't really have it up on any digital site
Yep.
at this point, but you really want the physical
Oh,
copy because
absolutely.
of the artwork.
But
Absolutely.
also because you're an independent artist, I mean, streaming really doesn't do a whole lot.
No, the 0.001 cent
Cent.
per
Yeah,
spin.
and
Just,
and even buying the album on iTunes, it's not as beneficial to the artist. However, going and buying the album direct from the artist,
Yeah.
that's the best way to support
yep,
these
so $20
guys.
and I'll mail it out to you.
That's beautiful.
Or
Yeah.
you can come see me if you're in
Oh,
the
my
kitchen. Yeah,
my Kitchener, my
the Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph,
that
Waterloo,
sort of corridor.
Hamilton.
He's my distributor there.
Yeah, I'm the distributor.
I love it. And are you going to be playing anywheres? I mean, within driving distance for anybody in our area the next little while? Mainly around Windsor, but you
know,
coming
we
close?
should do a show.
We should.
I'll book a show.
We
How
should
about
do a
for us?
show, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just two songwriters.
The little bird and the buffalo.
Yes, that's awesome.
There, that's what we'll call ourselves.
Little Bird and the Buffalo.
We should, yeah.
Yeah.
Our next band, yeah.
Well,
LB&B.
that's our duo, Little Bird and the Buffalo.
Little bird
LB&B.
and the
We'll
buffalo.
already have our own theme song written.
That's right. All right, let's do it. It's great.
Deborah
That
Lee
is
says,
hilarious.
beautiful harmonies. I got to agree, for you guys not really performing together until tonight live, it's great.
It is
We
great.
should do this.
Your voices go very well together. So
Imagine if we actually practiced.
I know, that would be awesome.
tonight's kind of like a rehearsal. Thanks for spending your rehearsal time with us, and thank you to all of you out there watching for
Absolutely, thank
for
you.
spending your Wednesday evening with us. We really appreciate it. We know there's probably a hockey game on or something tonight, and I don't know the Montreal Canadiens schedule yet, but it sounds like maybe we'll be watching some Montreal Canadiens game.
Absolutely.
That's my team.
Mine
Oh,
too.
great!
Yes, I was a
My
I was a
wine
goalie
stopper.
in high school, and Ken Dryden was my hero.
Oh, well,
So
there
I'm
you
putting
go.
my age out there now.
Yeah, we're not at the
Henri
point yet. Where
Richard, Jean Beliveau.
we don't know when they're playing, so I apologize. Hopefully they're not playing tonight, but I'm sure
there we
somebody's
go.
playing.
Vicky Marshall is watching.
Hey,
she lives
Vicky.
in Moncton now.
Yes,
She's an imported maritimer.
and she's
I hope
got
you're loving it.
she has a beautiful new cat.
Yes, such a cute
So
kitty.
cute.
And Liz Kramer, my first friend.
I love it. We call her your
My
first
first
friend.
friend. Love you, Liz. She's a maritimer too.
Barb Scott says, thanks for the awesome music.
Aww.
Yes, thanks for the awesome music.
Yes, well, you're welcome.
You trekked all the way out here from Windsor,
It
and
was such a
David from
beautiful
Hamilton.
day. I stopped in Dutton and walked around the picnic area. It had the wind blow through my hair. And
Nice.
so, yeah, I enjoyed that. And it's always fun coming up here and hanging out with you guys. And great to David and I stopped and had some dinner together and chatted, and now we're
Yeah.
here playing again.
You made an event of
Great.
it.
You did.
But if you would like to help, with gas money for the way home for these two lovely people, then the tip is there. The tip link is up on your screen, but also it's pinned in the comments there. Head on over to streamlabs.com/mylivingroomlive, and you too can have your name scrolling across the bottom of
Yes,
the
be
screen,
famous.
like Anita, whose name will probably be coming up here in a second. But feel free; it's safe to use, and the money goes straight to the artist. So it's anything that comes in, we just make sure that they get that right away for all that they do, donating their time and talents here on
Yes.
our
It's always
show.
a joy coming up the highway.
We're glad that you were excited to come back.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're like-
absolutely.
Redemption.
We're
I
like,
had to
definitely-
play Charlotte Taylor.
I love that you
That
started with it.
bugged me. Yes.
Yeah.
Happens
Oh,
to the best of us.
I call them
Absolutely.
menopausal moments.
Oh my
and
gosh,
things
it's
like
happened
that.
to everyone.
How many times do you walk downstairs and go, "Why did I go down here for?" Oh.
Yeah, it happens to me.
Who are you?
Ruth Switzer says World Series. Is the World Series on tonight? Of something? World Series of something? Yeah.
Oh, baseball. I guess.
Well, thanks for choosing us over whatever the World Series of whatever happens to be going on.
World Series of whatever.
Well, let's give people a little bit more of what they came here for, which is more great music. So what do you have up next?
So this is the title track from Wonderland, and
fun.
this was an existential song. I got up one morning, and in my room where I write and play things, there's a mirror. I use it to kind of help figure out what I look like when I'm performing, and sometimes I
Good
don't
tip,
want to
though.
see it. But
Good
that
tip.
particular day, nothing was happening, and I was just kind of looking at myself in the mirror and had one of those moments where saying, "Who are you?" And I used the imagery from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, and Kathy Lepp.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
she does this wonderful whisper at the end. I'll try and do that. And she was also on the back end of "It's Been Too Long," and it sounds on the album. It sounds like something that the Byrds, years ago, the Byrds would do at the end, because there's this huge chorus with all these different. He did like 6 parts of harmony at the end, and you can just figure like a Jim Carrey kind of thing, walking down the street with all these people going, "It's been too long." That's my vision if I ever did a music video.
Yeah, I
But
think
anyway,
Kathy did 4 vocal parts. I did 3, and then we did our.
that was crazy.
This is
It
nuts.
sounds really good.
So, Kathy, if you're watching, thank you. You
Yeah,
sounded great.
absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, this is Wonderland. Standing at this looking glass, I wonder who's that looking back, and what's behind those eyes I see, staring so hard back at me. And as I try to see how I came to be, standing on the edge of all that I believe. Well, stepping through that looking glass, I see a mirror to the past. And passing by that house of cards where hearts were lost in clubs and bars, and all the times I just kept smiling through the tears, and wishing at those times I just could disappear, like Alice in Wonderland, just wondering at all I see. And there's just a holiness in all these hopes and dreams, and wondering if there's still a place where I could just be free to wander around in this here wonderland. I want to see if I can find what's on the other side of me. That knave of hearts and that march have been running havoc through my dreams, and that Mad Hatter's made a fool out of me. Well, jumbling up my mind until I don't believe that I'm Alice in Wonderland, just wondering at all I see. There's just a holiness in all these hopes and dreams, wondering if there's still a place where I could just be me and wander around in this here wonderland. Hey Alice, it's time to wake up. I'm gonna be late for a very important date with your dreams here in Wonderland.
Beautiful.
It's
Lovely
a great song.
And great harmonies there, David. Very sweet, and that fun little, I don't know what effect you would call that, where you're bringing the volume up. Just
Swelling.
the swelling effect.
Swell.
So lovely.
Lovely.
Now, hopefully you guys have time for some more music. I don't know what your kind of time schedule is like. What about everybody out there watching tonight? You guys get some more time to hang out with us?
Well, I'm staying on overnight.
I know. I used to
That
spend the night.
couch is mine. I don't know about Martha, but
You'll have cats all over you, I guarantee. So yeah, you guys have time for some another tune or two?
yeah, I think so.
Lovely.
So this one, this is my Canadian song. I went up north, a little mini tour with Justin Latham, who comes from the Leamington area. And we were up in North Bay, and of course, North Bay, pardon me, is on Lake Nipissing. And I thought it was really cool because it kind of came about rather quickly. And I just thought, well, I'm going to write a song about Lake Nipissing and use my love for history and storytelling and channel my inner Gordon Lightfoot and write a song called Nipissing. Nipissing, oh Nipissing, the voice of the ancients call your name. Nipissing, oh Nipissing, les voix des voyageurs chantant de toi. You rose up from the ice age, eons ago. The Anishinaabe people have always called you home. Odawa Ojibwa, Algonquin of the clan. Oh, you Gitchin be big water, life giver to man. Fraser steam from calendar that November 1893. The fire that consumed her laid her low. Many souls were lost in frigid waters off Glueside. Many more may rest in you whose names we'll never know. Watershed for the trade routes of the Carrière de Bois, where Trout Lake flows its waters down to mighty Ottawa. You flow through the French River to Georgian's rocky bay, or on to Gitchagumi, paddles flash to Thunder Bay. Well, I've left the concrete islands, they're now fading fast from view. Birches, pines, and rocks, and trees and lakes all herald you. And I will dip my paddle in and pull from your shore. And I will add my story to those who've gone before. 'Cause Nipissing, oh Nipissing, the voice of the ancients call your name. Nipissing, oh Nipissing, les voix des voyageurs chantant l'étoile. Yes, the voice of the voyageurs, they sang of you. I will add my song to the tune.
Awesome.
So
Love the
lovely.
French.
Yes.
That was a stretch. Even though my name's Renaud, it's guilt by association. I married one.
I think you did that very, very,
Did.
I was
very
one
well.
of those poor people that they started doing French in grade 7 or 8, and then I took it in grade 9 and failed miserably, and I regret not being able to speak French.
I got to keep mine up because let me tell you.
Yes, you do.
I didn't speak it for a very long time, but now I'm working at a job where
You use it.
I'm using it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, which is great.
Is it all coming back?
But I got to work at it. I wish I'd kept it up all those years. It would have been so much smoother.
We spoke French for what? Almost 2 hours coming back from Quebec City.
Yes. Anytime we go to Quebec, we always make a point of just,
Speak
roll with it.
French.
Did he
lean
drive
into
you
it.
nuts?
What was that?
Like, that's a long distance to be.
It was
trying to
fun.
French. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Are we doing pretty things?
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
we
do
tried
that.
to make
So
it
we're gonna end with our show. Thank you so much, everybody, for
Yes,
watching,
thank
and
you.
thank you,
Guys,
Craig and
you
Andrea, for
being
having us.
here.
Am I doing this on Capo 4?
Just play your first chord.
Can I decide? Yes, Capo 4. I'll make that call.
I don't know if it's too high vocally, but we'll find out. So anyway, this was kind of a sleeper song. I just kind of did it for fun, and there's a lot of things that I like that really don't cost a lot. Like I said, I stopped by the service center at Dutton. The colors were out, and I made myself go walk around because sitting in the car gets kind of boring. And I like things like that. And they don't cost anything. Like looking at the fall colors or watching a sunset sky or sitting out under the stars or just spending time with people is, I call those things pretty things. And One of my friends said that sells them in her store said this lady bought it and brought it up to the cottage, and that was like their theme song for the girls' weekend was Pretty Things. So it's just kind of good sentiment that you don't have to spend a lot of money, and you need to get some of them pretty things.
Well, that's what we're all about here
Again.
on this show. You know, you don't have to spend any money hanging out with us here on Facebook. So enjoy your pretty things this evening. Thank you so much for joining us,
Yes.
everybody.
Yes, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, we'll see you on the other end of this tune.
Tuning's optional. Like I said, thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate the audience. As songwriters, we just want to be heard. Mr. Buffalo?
It's gonna stick.
Come on, little bird.
LB and me.
Tweet, 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 tweet.
We're glad that you made it too, Isaac. He says very pleasing to the ears. So thanks, Isaac.
Even when it's not quite in tune. Whoa, that was bad.
Yeah, he meant before that note.
Oh, before that note, yeah, it sounded really good until.
And Barb Scott says, thanks for the great evening of music.
Yes, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's been fun playing for y'all. Hard to pick songs. I had a hard time picking. I did a show called Just Because. Somebody asked me, what are you going to call it? I went, I don't know, Just Because. So Just Because. It was all kind of my songs and stories, and I put them in little subgroups like Canadian songs, and then I did the UK songs like New Country and Beautiful Moon, and I did songs with my kids and songs with the dog and all that kind of thing, and introspective songs. I don't know, you're kind of problematic. Maybe I don't want to take you with me.
I wouldn't hire him again.
No, I know. Well, let's just crash and burn, okay? Is it really bad? That sounds kind of cool what you're doing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know, I'm just going to play it on guitar.
Yay!
All right.
There we go.
So I hope you enjoy some of those little things that don't cost a lot. Really get plugged in.
Tell a joke or something, Martha.
No, I'm not funny. But anyways, please check out David's website, and then one thing, if you could, I'd really appreciate if you go to my Martha Renaud singer-songwriter page on Facebook and give it a like.
There we go.
Yes,
That's easy.
please, that's easy peasy.
Hit the
And
like
believe it
button
or
on your
not,
way in.
people, when they want to sign you up for things, look at how many people like your page. So the more people that you have liking your page, the better chance you have of getting to play places. So,
That's true.
and it's free. That's one of those pretty free things.
And easy.
And easy. It's the easy button. So yeah, and check out GroupHugApparel.com.
Right.
Great gifts for a great cause, and you can read Andrew's backstory on just such a wonderful young man. Are we good?
As good as it's going to get.
Okay. All right.
I normally play mandolin on this. Actually, no, I normally don't play anything on this.
Well, okay.
I normally don't play this.
Well, we'll just figure it out.
Good luck,
Anyway,
David.
we're going. This is leaving the station. All the pretty things in life that don't have a cost, that don't have a price. They're just little things I know, but they fill your heart and they fill your soul. All the pretty things in life that don't have a cost, that don't have a price. They're just little things I know, but to me are worth more than any gold. Well, I don't want diamonds or jewels. People said I'm such a fool for not chasing after the finer things in life. I say I'm rich beyond measure because I have the pleasure of spending this time here with you. 'Cause there's really nothing I would rather do We could talk this night away, feel like I've been given such a gift. Or I could walk a forest path and feel something deep inside me shift. Or I could sit under the stars, let the silence just take hold. Or I could watch this sunset sky, watch the colors just explode. Well, I don't want diamonds or jewels. People said I'm such a fool for not chasing after the finer things in life. I say I'm rich beyond measure because I have the pleasure of spending this time here with you. 'Cause there's really nothing I would rather do. Well, I think your arms wrapped around me is the prettiest thing that I could wear. And I like the feeling of the wind as it blows through my hair. And I think your hand set in mine is better than any kind of ring. And I like to tell you how I feel and watch how that makes your heart sing. Yeah. Well, I don't want diamonds or jewels. People said I'm such a fool for not chasing after the finer things in life. I say I'm rich beyond measure because I have the pleasure of spending this time here with you. 'Cause there's really nothing I would rather do. All the pretty things in life that don't have a cost, that don't have a price. They're just little things I know, but they fill your heart and they fill your soul. All the pretty things in life that don't have a cost, that don't have a price. They're just little things I hold that to me are worth more than any gold. All the pretty things, love them pretty things. Get some pretty things.
We did it.
You did it!
I did it. I made it through.
What a great message in that song.
Yeah.
So lovely to spend time with all of you. Thank you so much, our pretty little things out there watching. Well, why
Thank you
don't
so much for
Thank
tuning
you for
in.
watching.
you.
Thank
Thanks
for
Craig and
watching.
Andrea for having
Andrea,
us.
Craig,
let's
and
get her back on
Andrea.
camera?
Thank
you
you.
Get her back over here. Get her sitting somewhere. We miss seeing you all show.
She's been sitting on a comfy rocking chair.
There
It's
she
been
is.
nice.
There you go.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This was such a special night for us. It was beautiful. Just beautiful.
Yes, thank you
for
so
making
much.
the trek, both of you.
Oh, you're
Our
welcome.
pleasure.
Anytime.
There's
You
nothing
can
I'd
sleep on-
rather do.
You can sleep on the couch.
Than
They're
spending
not very
time
long,
with-
though.
Well, there's two couches and we're both short. so,
There,
you know.
see?
There we go.
There's a longer one downstairs.
I'll sleep in the man cave downstairs.
There
Yes.
you go.
Well, be sure to join us next week. We've got a special little treat for you. I'm not going to spoil anything,
But it's a Halloween treat.
it's going to be a Halloween theme going on
Yeah.
next week. So you don't want to miss that one.
No.
We're going to have
Nope.
local singer-songwriter Jason James joining us. So hopefully
We don't terrify him.
we don't scare him away. So please join us next Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern
Yes.
Time. In the meantime,
Have a wonderful week. Be good to
Absolutely.
each other. Be kind and gentle. Alexis!
she gave away too much.
No, I didn't. Alexis!
All right.
Good
Well,
night, everyone.
thanks for joining us, everybody.
Enjoy some pretty things.
Enjoy some pretty things.
And we'll see you next
See you
week.
next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alexis!
Ciao.